Imagine a scenario where you have a current of 1 amp entering a junction in a circuit. At that junction, the current suddenly has two possible paths. One path contains a 6 ohm resistor, and the other path contains a 3 ohm resistor. Now the question is, how does the current decide how much should go through each path? Does it split equally? Does more current go through the bigger resistor? Or does more current go through the smaller resistor? This is exactly where the current divider circuit becomes useful.
At its essence, a current divider is a circuit where current enters a node and splits between two or more parallel branches. This is very similar in spirit to the voltage divider, but with one key difference. A voltage divider uses resistors in series to divide voltage. A current divider uses resistors in parallel to divide current. To understand why, let us start with a simple parallel circuit. Here we have a current of 1 amp entering a junction. From this junction, there are two branches. The first branch has resistor R1, which is 6 ohms. The second branch has resistor R2, which is 3 ohms. After passing through the resistors, the two branches meet again and the current continues through the circuit.
The important thing to remember is that these two resistors are in parallel. That means both resistors are connected between the same two nodes. Since they share the same starting point and the same ending point, they must have the same voltage across them. But even though the voltage is the same, the current through each branch does not have to be the same. Why? Because each branch has a different resistance. To visualize this, imagine water flowing through two pipes. If one pipe is narrow and the other pipe is wider, more water will flow through the wider pipe because it offers less resistance. The same idea applies to electric current. Current prefers the path with lower resistance. So in a parallel circuit, the current divides between the branches based on their resistance. The lower resistance branch gets more current. The higher resistance branch gets less current. Now let us solve our example step by step. We have a total current of 1 amp entering the parallel combination. R1 is 6 ohms and R2 is 3 ohms. Before finding the branch currents, let us first find the equivalent resistance of the two parallel resistors. For resistors in parallel, we use the formula 1 over R total equals 1 over R1 plus 1 over R2. So in our case, 1 over R total equals 1 over 6 plus 1 over 3. This simplifies to 1 over 2. The reciprocal of 1 over 2 is 2, so the total equivalent resistance is 2 ohms. Now, since the total current entering this equivalent resistance is 1 amp, we can use Ohm's law to find the voltage across the parallel section. Voltage equals current times resistance. So the voltage across the parallel section is 1 amp times 2 ohms, which gives us 2 volts. This means both R1 and R2 have 2 volts across them because they are in parallel. Now we can find the current through each resistor. For R1, the resistance is 6 ohms. Using Ohm's law, current equals voltage divided by resistance. So the current through R1 is 2 volts divided by 6 ohms. That gives us 0.33 amps. For R2, the resistance is 3 ohms. So the current through R2 is 2 volts divided by 3 ohms. That gives us 0.67 amps. Now let us check if this makes sense. The current through R1 is 0.33 amps. The current through R2 is 0.67 amps. If we add them together, we get 1 amp, which is exactly the total current that entered the junction. So the current did not split equally. More current went through the smaller resistor, R2, and less current went through the larger resistor, R1. That is the core idea behind a current divider. But just like the voltage divider, there is also a shortcut formula we can use. For two resistors in parallel, the current through R1 is total current times R2 divided by R1 plus R2. And the current through R2 is total current times R1 divided by R1 plus R2. At first, this may look a little strange because the current through R1 depends on R2 and the current through R2 depends on R1. But this makes sense if we think about the relationship between resistance and current. The branch with the smaller resistance gets more current. So if R2 is smaller, then R1 gets less current. And if R1 is smaller, then R2 gets less current. The formula captures this inverse relationship. Let us use the formula with our example. The total current is 1 amp. R1 is 6 ohms. R2 is 3 ohms. To find the current through R1, we use I1 equals total current times R2 divided by R1 plus R2. So I1 equals 1 amp times 3 ohms divided by 6 ohms plus 3 ohms. That gives us 3 over 9, which is 0.33 amps. Now for R2, we use I2 equals total current times R1 divided by R1 plus R2. So I2 equals 1 amp times 6 ohms divided by 6 ohms plus 3 ohms. That gives us 6 over 9, which is 0.67 amps. Again, we get the same result. R1 gets 0.33 amps, R2 gets 0.67 amps, and together they add up to 1 amp. So, to summarize, a current divider is made from parallel branches. The voltage across each branch is the same. The current splits between the branches. Lower resistance gets more current. Higher resistance gets less current. And the total current entering the junction must equal the sum of the branch currents leaving the junction. Hopefully this video helped you understand not just the current divider formula, but also why the formula makes sense. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more electronics and circuit analysis videos. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.